One of the things I'm always asked is how do you do your keywords? Now, in this video, I'm going to go over how to find these keywords for free and then how you go about inputting them in your title, subtitle, and your 7 KDP keyword slots. Hello, my name's Ben McQueenie, and if you haven't been to this channel before, I make videos on how to make a great passive income from Amazon KDP, publishing low content and no content books. And if that sounds like something you like the sound of, then please subscribe to my channel, leave me a like, and hit that notification bell. So I guess the first thing is, what is a keyword? Well, a keyword doesn't actually have to be one word, it could be a group of words. So it could be a keyword phrase, for example. Now, keywords are what people are actually typing into Amazon to find the sort of book that you're trying to sell to them. So what we need to do is we need to find keywords that are not very competitive, but are searched quite a lot. And the method that I'm going to show you today will do just that. And for free as well, which is always a good thing. Okay then, so the first thing that we need to do is go over to Amazon.com, and there it is. And for the purposes of this video, I have decided to just look for a tracing book for toddlers, let's say, or just kids in general, because that's a they're pretty popular books. Letter tracing or number tracing. One of the first things that you need to do is get yourself Amazon Suggestion Expander, which is this one here, okay? And I'll just show you. There it is there. It's a free Chrome plugin, but what it allows you to do is it allows you to see some more suggestions for particular keywords. Okay, so now you can see that I have my Amazon on the left-hand side, and on the right-hand side, my new Google document. And I've got 3 columns here. I've got the keywords, which we're going to input. I have how many products that particular keyword returns when we search it on Amazon, and the number of best sellers that we can find under 300K, which is the best seller rank. And I'll talk about that specifically when we get to it, okay? So our general book idea is letters and number tracing. And what we want to do is, as we go through and have a look at these keywords and we log them down on this list, you'll start to see that you potentially be pushed down a certain avenue. So your book will get more and more defined, okay, and better into a particular niche. Okay, so this is how we do it. Let's start with letters. So letter tracing. So if I type in letter tracing, what does it come back with? Well, of course, letter tracing for kids ages 3 to 5, letter tracing board, which isn't relevant to a book. But as you can see, there's lots of different keywords there. Now, going back to my point that I was saying before, a keyword doesn't necessarily have to be a word, it's a whole phrase. So letter tracing is a keyword, letter tracing for kids ages 3 to 5 is a keyword, and so on and so forth. So what we need to do is we need to take all these and write them in here, okay, as a first stage. And using the words that are before and the words that are after, you can also take some of these and put them into our spreadsheet, okay? So let's just, for the example, letter tracing is the first one. I can't spell letter tracing. Next one is letter tracing for kids ages 3 to 5. The next one, obviously letter tracing board isn't relevant. So letter tracing books for kids aged to 5. Letter tracing books for kids ages 3 to 5. So even in just this short example, we can see that the letter tracing for kind of toddlers, toddlers up to the age of 5, is the kind of thing we want to go down, okay? Now, to get lots of these, the more you get, the better your keywords are going to be, okay? So one method for doing this is to go letter tracing and then A, activities and animal coloring book and handwriting book, copy all of those down into your list, okay? But then once you've done that, let's go letter tracing B. And there we go, there's even more. And then guess what we do? Letter tracing C, and we copy all those down. And this column gets more and more and more, okay? So just to nick one here, letter tracing, can't spell it there, letter tracing, coloring, and so on and so forth. Once you've done all the letter tracing, okay, let's go number tracing. So we'd go number tracing A. Number, copy all those down, add them on your list. Number tracing B, and then C, and do the whole alphabet until we have got a huge list of keywords. Once you have your huge keyword list, we're then going to search each one, which does actually take a bit of time, but you need to get this right. And the better your keywords, the more likelihood that you're going to be found and then convert into a sale, okay? So letter tracing. Let's just run this. Letter tracing. Let's see what we get. So typed in letter tracing, and we've got 7,000 results. Now, we have searched it in the all category. Now, the reason why I search in the all category rather than in the books category is because I think generally people go onto Amazon and just type what they want straight away. They don't generally go into the categories. So they just go into the all, okay? So it's always best to just stick to all, or you can go into books if you like, whatever you prefer. Okay, but I use the all category. So in all, I've got 7,000 results for letter tracing. So what do? We're going to type that number in, okay? Now, what are we after? We're after a keyword that returns 1,000 products or less, because that means that that particular keyword has 1,000 or less competitors. And guess what? The less competition you've got, the more likelihood you are to have to be found and then to convert into a sale, okay? So in general, when I do this, we're looking for 1,000 or less in this number here. This particular keyword, letter tracing, is too competitive, okay? Let's see what we will get if we use letter tracing for kids ages 3 to 5 in the all category. Click on that. And as you can see, because it's a little bit more niche, we've only got 3,000 results for that. So do you see where we're going with this? You can see that that particular one there is 3,000 results, which is a little bit better. But remember, our goal is 1,000 or less. Shall we try this one? Let's just have a look at this one. Search this. Whoa. And again, that one is 3,000. And for the sake of completeness, let's have a go at this one. Whoa, 20,000. So as you can see, these particular keywords, these four here, don't hit the first goal. They're not 1,000 or less. Now, with a little bit of editing magic, I have pulled a couple of keywords which I have found using this method, which are going to give us, for the purposes of this video, a little bit better results. Okay, so learn to write books for kids 3 to 5. Let's run that and see how that comes back. Look at that, 1,000 results. Now look, that hits our goal. So what we're going to do is we're going to go 1,000 results. So that's great. So we're going to make that green. Let's make that green. Right. So this next one is alphabet practice writing book for 3-year-olds. Okay, so let's copy that, stick that into our search. Oh, would you look at this? 537, which is better than 1,000. So that means that for that particular keyword, there's only 537 results that have come through in the all category, which is great. So 537. And we're going to make that green as well. So that is green as well. Now, in your huge list of keywords that you have made, you will identify the ones that are 1,000 or less, just by highlighting them green or however you want to do it. Okay, so we have a giant list now of lots of different keywords which we've found by taking them from Amazon. Now, what we want to do now is we want to identify all the keywords that are 1,000 or less, like we've already talked about. But now we need to figure out which of those keywords that are green that we've highlighted, which of those keywords are actually hot keywords that people are buying in. And the way that we can do that is by searching the keywords and then looking on the first page and seeing on that first page how many of those books are independently published books, which indicates a self-published book, but also that their bestseller rank is 300,000 or less. Okay, 300,000 or less means that that book is selling really well. Okay, so if a book had a bestseller rank of say 10,000, that's really good. If it had a bestseller rank of 3 million, it's not really selling very much. So 300,000 or less is the books that we are looking for. And what I like to do is, once we've searched a keyword, to go down the first page and count how many books have 300,000 or less. The more books with 300,000 with a bestseller rank of 300,000 or less, the better the keyword is for how it's selling. Okay, so what we're going to do is we are going to run each of these keywords that we've identified in green. Let's just delete this. We're going to count how many of these books have a bestseller rank of 300,000 and less. So let me just open that again. Now, another Amazon extension which you want is the DS Amazon Quick View, because that shows us the bestseller rank at a glance rather than having to click into each particular book. Okay, so 1,000 results, very good, yes. For this particular keyword, very good, yes. So let's go down and let's see how good this is. Now, the ones that are sponsored is where people have bought ads to get there. So we don't want to look at those. Okay, so this is your first organic ranking here. So look at this. This is brilliant. So if we click on here, this is an independently published book, which is great. There's a self-published book that me or you could have done, and it's 124. So that's going to be selling lots. And again, let's have a look at this one. All right, okay, so that's a publisher. This is a self-published book, and that's 3,000. So that's one. Okay. This one, that's an independently published. So just on that line here, we've got 1, 2, 3. So we've got 3 books there. So you'd go down and you'd count all the ones that were not sponsored. There's another one there, 91,000. There's another one there. Okay, so as you can see, you should go down and you'd mark how many there are. Okay, so I will go through this and I'll count them all up and I'll put them into our spreadsheet. So in our 2 examples here, Learn to Write books for kids 3 to 5, and Alphabet Practice Writing book for 3-year-olds, they actually had 18 on the first page of books that had a bestseller rank of 300,000 and less. And that had 18, and Alphabet Practice Writing book for 3-year-old had 11. Okay, so these 2 keywords are looking pretty good. So we make that green. Now, let's just say that there was this particular keyword only had 2. Now, for me, if it only had 2, I don't think that that's selling very well. So I would read that out. So, let's not use that particular one. But we do know that it was doing 18. So that's pretty good. So that shows me that this particular keyword, it's selling well, and there's not very many competitors. Okay. So what you do is you do that for all of your keywords in your whole list. Now, through the power of editing, I am going to fast forward this and get you a bit more of an example on the next page. Okay, so this is what I've done. I've gone through and lifted all these keywords from the Amazon suggestion expander. I have then searched them all. If there's 1,000 products or less, I have highlighted them. And then I've went on to see how many books are 300,000 bestseller rank or less. Okay, so as you can see here, this one, Learn to Write for Kids age 4, it had 1,000 results, very good, but only had 2 books that were a bestseller rank of 300,000 or less. So that for me gets dumped. Okay, now this is a little bit of a list which I've created, right? But we don't need to go all the way down. There's a fair few there. What we can do is if we just simply filter these, you just add a filter there. And what we want to do is we want to bring to the top all the ones that are in green, okay? And the way that we can do that is just literally, there we go, making it smallest to largest, because obviously these are the keywords that have got the least competition. And then we can go and make an assessment to see how good they are, okay? Now, what I would say is, in general, you want to have at least 20 greens, okay, for when we're doing all our title, subtitle, and our 7 keyword slots for the formula, which I'm going to show you in a second, okay? So let's just have a look at what we've got. And as you can see, there's lots of different things, hence control, line, tracing book, and so on and so forth. Now, one other thing that I do is I run every keyword through, it's called Wordcounter. So to get how many characters there is, because in the 7 KDP keyword slots, you can only have 50 characters. So it's always best to see if a particular keyword phrase is below that. Okay, so let's just quickly go back to our, so like for instance here, I've got this epic keyword, and when I go to the word counter, we'll click on there, obviously there's 65 characters, which is over. But what we could do is we could use that as a title or a subtitle. But as I say, as a keyword for the 7 KDP slots, it's too big, unfortunately. So what I'd like to do is I like to go through the green keywords which we found and actually put in the character limits. I know what I'm working with, okay, using Wordcounter. Okay, now one thing that I perhaps forgot to mention is that all the links to everything that we're talking about in this video will be in the YouTube description. Okay, so you don't have to worry about any of that. Okay, right. So as you can see, we have got a fair few keywords there, and in general, we can see how popular these are. Obviously, this one here is only got 3, so you know it's not that great. I mean, this one here has got 18. That's very good. That one's got 11. That's very good. And we've got a few others, 15. So we've got to work with. Okay. So let's move on. We're going to come back to this in a second, but let's just go to the formula, right? So this is my formula that I use for creating the title, the subtitle, and adding the 7 KDP slots for when you are on Amazon KDP. Okay, so what you want to do is you want a goal of around 20 keyword phrases, and going back to what we've done, we have about that here. Great, fantastic. But this is it. What you need to do is you need to make sure that your title of your book is literally your best keyword phrase that you found, and don't do any don't add anything to it. Just have the keyword as your title, because if we have done the research and people are putting that in and it is not competitive, and there's not it's in a good keyword that people are buying, if you have just the title, it's more likely to then pop up when someone's searching for it. Okay, so if we go back, we need to make an assessment on what our best keyword is. Now we've got one there that's kind of got 18 there. Okay, and that's learn to write books for kids 3 to 5. Okay, but as a title, that might not work. Learn to write books for kids 3 to 5. Well, firstly, it's a book, so we wouldn't want to pluralize it. So learn to write books for kids 3 to 5. That could work. The plural doesn't particularly matter because Amazon can add a plural or take away. So that could be our title. But then, going back to what I was saying before, look, that's got 1,000. Yeah, so we've actually got stronger, less competitive words here. What about this one here? Oh, this could be a good one, you know, guys. Look, alphabet practice writing book for 3-year-olds. Change it for 3-year-old to put 3-year-olds. We'll put the S on the end, okay? And then that would hit that keyword. Okay, so you know what? I'm gonna have that. So what we're gonna do is I'm just going to just make that blue so I know that I've used it. And I'm going to put that as our title. Oh, look at that. So there we go. Then, so that was our that's kind of our best keyword, yeah. Okay, so our best keyword is now our title. Okay, and if you're going to lift this and put this straight into KDP, you'll want to, you know, make those capitals, so on and so forth. Okay, so what's our next strongest keywords? Now for your subtitle, if you can, put in your second and your third in your keywords, but you need it to work it in nicely. When I say you need to work it in nicely, it can't be just 2 random keywords that don't make any sense, because people will see a mile off of what's going on there. So you need to make it kind of fit together. So let's go back to our research. Let's pick another 2 good ones. Now I think I want to stick with the keywords that are below 1,000 for our subtitle. So This one's got 9. This one's got 8. Okay. So what is the actual book title? I've forgotten. Alphabet Practice Writing Book for 3-year-olds. Okay. So pencil control for toddlers 2 to 4. That could work. Pencil control for kids ages 3 to 5. That would be a good one. So pencil control. So alphabet practice writing book for 3-year-olds. Pencil control for kids ages 3 to 5. And what you'd want to do is you want to put like a nice adjective. For a fun workbook to develop pencil control for kids ages 3 to 5. Now, I think that flows nice, right? And I'm not entirely sure whether we can fit a second one in without it being, as I said before, a bit strained. We don't want to make it a bit strained. So I think we just keep it as that. Okay, so let's lock that in. There we go. And make sure to just make that blue so that I know we've used that one. Okay, so now what we need to do is we need to put in our 7 KDP slots. Now, what I like to do is I like to make the first, second, and third slot just one keyword phrase, okay? Then my fourth and fifth, what I like to do is what's called stuffing. Yeah, so add 1 to 3 keywords as you can in there, and I'll show you how to do that in a second. And then 6 to 7, add as many keywords as you can until you've got to your 50 characters. And the reason why you do that is because you want to sort of hit some really good keywords, but you also want to give you the potential wide net of hitting any others. Okay, so if we go to here, let's have a look at some of these good ones. Okay, so see, there's one there, which is 16. That's a pretty good one, isn't it? Okay, so number tracing for preschoolers, 16. That's a good one. Learn how to write book. So if we go back to our formula, we've kind of defined it as an alphabet practice book. So I think we should probably stay away from numbers for now. So learn to write book for kids 3 to 5. Right, so that's 1. Let's blue that out. Remember, that's a pretty good one. That's a good one. It's 18, that one. This one is number tracing for preschools. Obviously, it's not right. Pencil skills workbook there. 6. Line tracing books. So you could use that because obviously, doing it, the alphabet is lines. We could add some lines in the interior. So let's get that in. Good, good. Pencil skills for toddlers, that's 5. Number, pencil control for kids. Number, pencil control workbook. Let's get that in. Pencil control workbook. So now I've added another 3 good keywords there. Okay. So let's just red that, blue that so that we've used it. Okay. So here's the thing. going to try and mix a couple of keywords here for slots 4 and 5 and 6 and 7. So back to here, let's look for a couple. So pencil control for toddlers 2 to 4 years, pencil control line tracing book. Now, what we can do is we can do this. Copy those two, bring it into here. Let's just do it here. Now, if we go pencil control for toddlers 2 to 4, 2 to 4 years. But then add in line tracing book at the end. We have hit both keywords there. The only problem with that is it could be a little bit too big, but we can check that on the word counter. See, so that's 55 characters. Okay, so that wouldn't actually work. So if we go back, oops, that's not correct. So let's just park that for now. See, so this would be an example here. So if I grabbed these two here and brought that into here, it's still pretty big keyword, okay? But what you can do is we've got number tracing book for kids ages 6. But here the only difference is 4 to 6 here and 6 here. But what you could do is if you added 4 to 6 in here, then that would hit both of those keywords. And I think, if we're lucky, that would just be under the 50 characters. Fingers crossed, here we go. 50 characters, look at that. You little ripper. Okay, so let's go back. And now this one would form our next keyword. Because now that keyword there is a mixture of that one and that one. Okay. So you do the same for the next one, if possible. And if it isn't possible, you just put one in. So for example, here we know that this went a bit too big, but these are still good keywords. So you could just use the one. Okay. And this next one is stuff as many as you can in, okay? But to be fair, we're already kind of doing that anyway, okay? So you would pick your next two, and let's just say for the argument, let's just put that in there, and let's just pick another one. Here we go. So there we go. So that is that. So that's worked out okay. So next thing to do would be to create your book. And then you've got your metadata there to put in. Okay, so what we can do is if we go to Amazon and let's go to create a paperback. There we go. So our title is here. Paste that into there. Our subtitle is here. Our subtitle's here, paste that into there. And then pull this down. There is our other 7 keywords. So you would just paste the rest in there. so on and so forth. So that gives you an insight on how I do my keywords for my low content and no content publishing on Amazon. Now, the more you do it, the better you're going to get, okay? And this is a completely free method. It does take a bit of time, yes, but as you do it more and more, it becomes easier and second nature to you. Okay guys, so if you have enjoyed this video and found it useful, please subscribe to my channel and leave it a like. Now, one of the most important skills to have as a self-publisher is to create your own book covers. And if you want to see how I create my book covers completely for free, then check out this video above, or to the side, or to that side. It's one of the sides.